This video is going to be all about the progressives, folks. Progressives were reformers in both political parties, Democrat and Republican, that wanted to see America achieve progress and to move forward out of this horrible, corrupt, gilded age. So it's going to be both Democrats and Republicans. Excuse me. Progressives were reformers in both political parties that wanted to return control of the government to the people, restore economic opportunities to the people instead of just the robber barons, and to correct injustices in America. Things like letting women vote, and also letting black people vote, and giving black people citizenship, and all these kinds of things. Those are going to be the Republican progressives pushing those ideas. But there are also some Democrat progressives that are doing the same thing. Today, the term progressive is used by modern liberals who want to promote change. These are typically the blue-haired, green-haired people that are all about transgender rights, and you can have an abortion up until the moment the baby's born and stuff like that. Those are progressives today. They are not nearly the same thing as progressives from 100 years ago. As a part of these progressives, we have the special group called the muckrakers, okay? Muck is barnyard waste. It's poo, like horse poo, cow poo, and they are raking it. So you got people that are digging up crap on big business and on government corruption and on things like that, and they're exposing it to the American people with the hopes that the American people will get so angry about it that they will call their senators or write their senators and they will demand change. That's the point of muckraking. They're investigative journalists who worked for reform. The most famous one, the one that you must know for the leak test, is Upton Sinclair. Upton Sinclair wrote a fictional novel called The Jungle, which was about Chicago's meatpacking facilities and how horrible the conditions were there. And because of that book, Congress actually looked in to see if this was actually true, and they found out this is exactly how they were making sausage and, dissecting these animals and stuff like that in these horrible, unsanitary conditions. And so this led to the passage of a new law from Congress called the Meat Inspection Act. Today, if you go to the grocery store and you buy a pack of meat, they have a little seal on it that says FDA approved on it. So the meat has all been inspected by the federal government to make sure that you don't get sick whenever you eat it. Ida Tarbell is an investigative journalist that went after Standard Oil. She went after the most powerful man, the richest man that ever lived, in John D. Rockefeller, and she exposed his illegal business practices and how he would force people out of the market so that way he could buy up their businesses at pennies on the dollar. And because of that, Rockefeller was brought back into Congress. He was forced to come. He was subpoenaed to go there, and he had to testify about his dealings with the Standard Oil Company. Rockefeller was forced to break up Standard Oil's empire into 7 different pieces and sell off the pieces, which it took him out of the race of being a robber baron, but at the same time, by selling those pieces of Standard Oil, Rockefeller became the richest man that ever lived. Here's a word from a muckraker, okay? Ray S. Baker. So we muckrake not because we hated our world, but because we loved it. He is saying here that he's not trying to sell newspapers. He's not trying to sell books. He's trying to change the world. That's the point of muckraking. All right, here we go. Which statement describes the impact that muckrakers had on the public during the late 1800s? And A looks good to me. They inspired Americans to call for reforms. They wanted Americans to change the government and how things work. Upton Sinclair's novel, The Jungle, aided progressives by leading to the passage of the Meat Inspection Act. Okay, so now all of our meat is going to be inspected by the government. All right, next one, 39. Prior to 1906, regulations for maintaining quality and safety in the meatpacking industry had been in the works for years. However, Theodore Roosevelt pushed legislation ahead quickly in response to public outcry over which novel, and that is going to be The Jungle by Upton Sinclair. All right, next one. How did Ida Tarbell bring about a government-imposed breakup of the Standard Oil Company? Well, she wrote investigative reports that detailed the illegal dealings of John D. Rockefeller. And that is your progressives for you.